but
next time maybe?
yeah.
What's up, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. My name is Kyle Pancis. If it's your first time tuning in, please be sure to smash the subscribe button. Today we're with a crowd, so thank everybody for coming out today. We're at the Saab Owners Convention Club and we're gonna do a seminar. We're gonna pull apart the front end, just on the bumper, try to explain some of the infrastructure and mechanics that are behind the scenes. So if you guys are either finding a wrecked Saab or wreck a Saab or have a repair under there, you guys kind of know what you're getting into. So let's hop into it, guys. So first things first, what I like to do when we start, obviously car's secured. Underneath we have the plastic trays, so I typically try to unscrew that first. And then on the inside of the wheel wells are two torch bits, typically. Sometimes it varies. So we'll remove that. And in my case, underneath I have some zip ties holding the plastic tray in because, you know, it's got some age.
About getting rid of that plastic tray.
What's that?
It's about getting rid of the plastic tray.
You can.
Mine fell out.
It
Exposes
wire.
everything, and dirt, debris could kick up in there. So there's some oil lines that are under there that, you know, over time it could hurt. It can hurt. I don't think it's the end of the world though. So let me just do this real quick. So the screws inside the wheel well are actually fairly easy to get out. As you guys can see, I'm just doing it by hand. So there's the first one. And if you need to put a socket on there for leverage, you just turn the wheel and it'll give you some space. Similar, yeah. And actually, so the structure's a little different, but the mechanics are pretty much the same.
Okay.
Oil lines, all that stuff is like in the same spot. I think one difference is the power steering, but minor detail.
Yes.
Yes. So once you guys have the two screws out, this here is just in a bracket that should just pop out like this. And before we continue, I'll take off the top here and free that up. So this has typically like push rivets on the top. So in my case, I only have one left in there. That's okay. Well, at home, I can put some new ones in. And then I need to get a pliers to put the bottom.
Sophia ran hers over the curtain. I'd love to be. No, you. The pump too, a lot of this stuff is just tools and a lot of the stuff is plastic and it breaks very
Factory by Kyle Pancis. Typically there's screws or clips.
Cuba, right?
All right. So
I'm seeing him working on this online.
There you go.
we got 10mm bolts holding that in there, and here's why we have broken grills, which is fine.
Yeah, that's a Pancis. Great. It's difficult to take them off without breaking them.
Yeah, they crack. They crack very easily.
That's right. You just said now. Soda.
Oh,
Here's are for later.
mine was here's for later.
Yeah, man. I have a couple I might just loosen in here somewhere.
So that should remove the headlight. And then over here you have the blinker light inside. You just take a flat hand, which I gotta grab.
You don't need to take the headlight off.
That's stuff in the sewer. Like storage, what the size of the sewer.
Let's go leave it or not. Let's see if you think it's going to be a lock. One of the bulbs you can get.
So there's that, and then you have the headlight here, the plug.
It's annoying. Back.
Right? If you want to should I hit that? But I went on YouTube. It's like
So the headlight washer, you pull it out manually like that, and then there's a little tab here that you push in gently because it can crack. Okay, so that releases the headlight washer. This cover's cracked, that's why it fell off. It's okay though. That should release that there. Now I need to figure out why this isn't coming out. Got it.
Twist it. Need to unplug it.
You can twist it too, yeah.
Twist it. Unplug it.
So this side's not broken clearly as that one is. So there is the difference.
Put that there. There you go. You take that light. No, that's to pull up the headlight. That's like for here. And drain too sometimes.
Where'd I put the power driver?
Just got one more screw right there.
There it is.
Almost screw right there. First,
Thank you.
Nope, don't take it off. Wash it first. Wash it first. Yep. I tried to tell myself every time I get started on something, I got one place or and stay with that for a while. And that's it. Fill it up.
All right. We're ready to come out now.
Get the lights. The fog lights easy.
Inside the vendor area, I don't know if it's I gotta have one of those. There's one that looks similar to that. It's got a Saab logo on it.
Anybody have a knife on them at all? Anything? It's just the temp.
I actually like that sole in the other rock though. I got dikes and stuff just in the other rock.
Oh yeah, it's perfect. Looks like it. Right, yes, yes. So use this one, yes.
Don't break it. Got to turn in the bottom of that connects.
Alright. There goes the front bumper.
What's that cabling at the bottom?
Temperature sensor.
This is the temp sensor, the ambient temperature sensor.
Yep.
Oh, okay.
The reason why
Shit
the
almost
plastic
broke
tray was
your
zip
beard.
tied was because the previous owner had damaged underneath. So this typically would actually clip into
The front, the
a bumper
lower grill.
right on the grill.
Oh, okay.
So, but since it's all mangled, it didn't work that way. So I zip tied this, held it in place. In fact, I rewired this whole thing, if you guys can tell.
Yep.
So there's that under tray, and this is what the structure looks like underneath. This is your main bumper core support. So if anybody watched me 2 years ago rebuild a Rec 9.5, the reason why I was able to save it so nicely was that the damage was primarily up here. It skipped the bumper, so I was able to just cut out this metal frame here and replace it with a new support. This is the radiator support here. This is your airbag sensors right on the front here.
Two of them.
These two.
Yep.
So in this situation of that black Saab, it had just missed all of the sensors, which saved a lot of damage to the car. So
Right hand side.
this is structured here. If you guys remove these
The
panels,
fenders, yep.
it's pretty straightforward.
Three
Couple
bolts.
screws there, couple screws on top, and then you just remove the side skirt, and it accesses the last bolt on the bottom. This pulls in, this pulls off, and then this here is screwed in and welded to the apron. Pretty easy to cut out and replace. So if you ever have an accident or find
So
one
side
that's
fender's
wrecked
not welded at all.
in the
Just
scenario
take
that
that
I'm
out.
talking
They
about,
come off.
it's easy to just cut this support out.
Just gotta
It's
line
just
it
tack
properly.
welded in here
Easy to come
and
off.
over here.
Just the structure side is different.
And you can always just kind of reshape it if that's the scenario. But in this car, this is clean. It's never been wrecked, as you can tell. And inside here is your AC condenser. Inside the middle is your
Radiator.
intercooler. And then on the back side over here is your radiator. So those are the three trays underneath the radiator support over here. Going down over here
What that is?
is
5
your
minute job.
oil cooler. These are your
Yep.
oil cooler lines. They
They
feed
rust
into,
like there's no tomorrow.
they actually feed into where the oil filter housing is. So if anybody's ever changed the oil on your T7 suite or even the T5, they're all pretty much the same. Again, the oil cooler lines can rot out on the
Yep.
sides, so they're pretty easy to replace. You actually don't need to remove the bumper to replace the oil cooler lines. You can do it
From the
straight
bottom.
from underneath in here without doing everything I just did. It's a little tight, but it's doable. So yeah, there's your oil cooler line, and then the transmission oil lines, the trans cooler lines, they're actually all connected to the radiator. So when you pull the radiator out, you'll see that there's a upper and a lower transmission line that is that also cools the transmission. Now I'm sure there's aftermarket transmission coolers you can install. I've never done it personally, but it's probably pretty straightforward as well. To replace the radiator, which I've done on this car, actually after I drove it to Chicago and back the next day, the radiator blew coming back from New York City. It was kind of lucky the way it happened. So the fan shroud, you remove everything that's right here, which takes probably about 10 minutes to do, 15 minutes to do. Radiator shroud pulls out right here, and so does the radiator. So pretty easy to replace there as well. And then obviously you have your horns and your intake system. In my car here, as you guys can see, it's original, all stock. And that's pretty much the structure here. There's nothing else. It looks like there's a lot. You have an air conditioning line. There's your headlights and your harnesses. And yeah, any questions so far? Maybe. Yeah. So this is the air box there. I haven't changed the air filter, but probably should check it out.
No, I mean, I have a 95. I didn't realize, because you only go underneath, you don't realize what's inside.
What's there, yeah.
Yeah.
Yep, so this is the air box here, and fog lights.
Alright.
Pretty straightforward. Pretty cool?
Very cool.
And that's it. This is also part of the bumper support, and this is your latch here for your hood release. I've had to replace those. These buttons here that you guys see on your radiator support, those are actually a support bracket for holding in the intercooler, the radiator, all into place here. And it's spring-loaded, so when you want to remove it, you actually just push it down and it pops out. So it's pretty easy to get in and out.
Yeah, everything comes
So
out.
luckily on this car, everything's original, but on that 2008 Saab that I rebuilt, you know, I had to replace everything. And this stuff here, if you guys come take a quick look closer, there's a couple 10mm bolts that just hold the condenser onto the support. So this is the intercooler inside, and that attaches, the condenser attaches to that, so they kind of all interlock a little bit.
You alright, bro?
Yep, these two.
Seem to be enjoying my
Really
little
holding
too
the
much.
radiator down in place.
What's the problem with that?
The rest of this is kind of sandwiched together. So to replace this, it's two 10mm bolts, and you have to, you know, remove the air conditioning hose, the duct, pressurize, you know, make sure it's pressurized, and then this just kind of drops down. You remove this plastic fan and it falls down. Likewise, the intercooler drops down to the bottom. Pretty easy. And it just slides back in. You just gotta remove, you know, move these coil lights apart. Yeah, this is the headlight washer.
Oh, headlight washer.
Yep, yep. And the plumbing of that actually runs right here. Should run around the side of, yeah, it's underneath here, yeah. It's actually done. No wonder they don't have Thank you. Yeah, what's the biggest?
Mom's calling.
You gotta pick up your mom. Man. Come on.
Can't have any extra pieces.
Right, so when do they get some new ramps? I mean, that other one looks like it's going to just crumble.
I've been using them for years, just like this. I just need to buy them.
Hey Kyle,
Yeah.
the seats original?
What's that?
The seats, the interior original?
Yeah, seats are all original. So 200,000 miles, interior is all original.
17 years.
Kelly, what's his last name? Condenser. Yeah, he had what was it? Condenser. Yeah, he had a kit for like leather to recondition the leather. He does some good work. So he actually touched up just the driver's seat a little bit.
Really?
Yeah.
He's doing a demo tomorrow, right?
He's doing a seminar tomorrow, right? Alan? He's doing a seminar tomorrow, right?
Yeah, tomorrow.
Yeah. So if you guys have leather repair work, check it out. He touched this up and it looks really good. And then everything else inside is original. It's kind of cool. This car really held up well.
That's
And who's
this morning when they were packing what they call the premium leather interior.
Yeah,
That's what was in the
04.
02 to 05 Aeros.
That's why I like them.
He's doing it tomorrow at 9.
Tomorrow, 9 a.m. Yeah. Yeah, did some nice work. So yeah, this is that's everything that's going on behind the scenes on the front of the Saab. It's pretty straightforward.
How does it vary from the 9.3?
It's pretty much the same. Just some structural differences with like the way the radiator support sits. Might be, but the condenser, intercooler, and the radiator is different on the 9.3. But everything else I think is the same.
When you said the radiator failed on this one, is that the plastic sides cracking?
Yes. No, actually, when I pulled it out, it was a pinpoint. A rock must have hit it or something.
Oh, okay.
So when I pulled it out and it was resting on the floor, I could see it seeping out.
Okay. Both my original 9.3 and my 2008 9.5 both had cracks in the plastic side, and on the one, right as I pulled into the garage, the whole side blew out and dumped the whole contents on the floor. But at least I got home.
How was you lucky
Yeah,
in the
so
garage?
when it popped, it happened in my driveway. After all of that driving. It was just incredible.
Yeah.
And I wasn't even mad. I was like, this is great.
I think maybe what it is while you're driving, everything's flowing,
flowing,
and then you stop, the pressure builds up.
I didn't add the fact that I was sitting in traffic and probably driving aggressively. So that didn't help it.
Yeah, that's exactly right.
But I got
had
home,
it.
and then I ordered the parts and fixed it within a couple of days.
That was
So
losing
yeah,
cool.
this one, somebody donated this car to me last year.
You never find
It wasn't running. It wasn't able to pass inspection. It had an engine code. It was P1181, and it had something to do with the harness. There's a couple splices.
I never
in the back
did
of the harness,
see it lately.
and the splicing
Because
over
it never
time can go
leaked
bad, and it causes that engine light, and obviously it won't pass inspection.
But I could.
So for the rest of the time here, everybody just kind of hung around the car, chatted, asked some questions, and overall it was just a really awesome experience to see how everybody got involved. And it's pretty cool how cars like these just gather a crowd and everybody's interested in learning and asking questions. So just want to thank everybody again for coming out. It was a blast. All right, guys, so thanks everybody for showing up to the seminar and checking out the channel. We have the car back together in its spot here, so appreciate all the questions and input. You guys are awesome. So stay tuned for the next video. Please like, share, subscribe, and I'll see you guys next time. Talk to you.